Hello. Each year after attending the Ohio Health Professions Advisors annual meeting, I like to record a video of what I learned to share with students back here at home. This year, the meeting shed light on PA school. We had admissions representatives on hand from three different schools: Ohio University, Miami of Ohio, and Ohio Dominican. They all joined us for a panel discussion, and then we did some small group tabletop conversations. We learned so much from this experience, and here's what I'd like to bring back and share with all of you. Academics matter a whole lot in the realm of PA school. It's quite competitive, maybe more so than students may have realized. So the best advice is to first and foremost focus on your classes and keep up your grades to the extent possible. Most of the schools, at least the ones present, receive hundreds of applications, and they only have cohort sizes between 30 and 40. Some schools interviewed around 100 of those who applied, and though they reviewed holistically, they often used GPA and GRE, or in some cases the MCAT, as a quantitative screening measure to narrow their pool. So again, academics and metrics are pretty important in the world of PA school. Now, there's quite a bit of variability by school. Many of this we already knew, but I'll reiterate in case helpful. For PA schools, prereqs are generally not unified. There's no one size fits all to magically get the prereqs for every school. Some cohorts start in the fall, and there are others that actually start in the spring. The application deadlines also vary, and some schools use rolling admissions. So it's always a good idea to apply as early as possible, especially if rolling admissions is in play. And the schools who were present indicated kind of a mixed value placed on research for PA school applicants. It can certainly have value, but the extent of the value varied by school, and it was never a substitute for clinical hours. Now, all of that said, despite all of this differentiation, a reminder that a very good resource is paschoolfinder.com. You can take a look at things like prereqs, application cycles, types of admissions, cohort size. So as soon as you know you want to go to PA school, visit this resource, take a look at the individual school websites, make your short list of the schools where you might want to apply. You might want to create your own spreadsheet to organize all the attributes about your chosen schools, things like prereqs, when it starts, whether the application is rolling or not, because that's a critical piece. Now, despite all of this variety, there are some common attributes that we did hear across the three schools that we spent some time with. PA school requires a high number of clinical hours. Some schools give a number of, say, 700 plus hours, but other schools don't quantify. All of the schools indicated that some kind of a certification is highly valued, perhaps a CNA, an EMT, etc. Demonstrating that you have one-on-one patient care experience is key. But interestingly enough, all the schools were aligned that this is not really for the medical skills, but for the social aspect. They talked a lot about the value of intergenerational communication, talking with patients of various ages, and the ability to work in a team. Another common attribute is that PA applicants need to demonstrate maturity. You need to show that you are ready to enter into the profession and the schooling necessary to get you ready. They also did indicate that student involvement in leadership roles are valued. Growth years are also valued. So if you really need to take that year after graduation to get the certification, work as an EMT full-time or something of that nature to gain that experience, it will absolutely make you a stronger candidate. And if the school offers any sort of virtual information session, please, by all means, attend those. They really do actually keep track of who attends. And when names pop up later in the application cycle, oftentimes there's a recognition that that's a student who has done their due diligence to gather as much information about the school before just randomly applying a bunch of places. So essentially, you can do some research to really put you on a path toward a successful PA school future, but you have to do a little bit of homework on your own. And that's just kind of the nature of this process. It's also generally wise to apply to multiple schools to really maximize your chance of acceptance, much like you might, apply to different medical schools. But especially in PA school, again, it is quite competitive. So certainly you don't want to underestimate all that's involved, in following this, possible pathway. So kind of a side note, as I wrap this up, I found myself very reflective as I was driving back from Columbus after this meeting. So I am currently serving as the president of this group of the OHPA. And I was just thinking about how grateful I am for the amazing leadership team that I get to work with. We have taken a very much team-based approach to leading this organization. We all played a part in planning the annual meeting and executing it. This is also the group that plans the OMED, Ohio Medical Education Day, in the fall. And that experience was very much the same. We valued each other's experience and expertise that we bring to the table. And at the core of it, people make any organization. So being able to collaborate, listen to others, and work together can just really make a huge difference in the experiences that we can all create together. So I'm grateful to be able to participate in this annual day of learning and networking. If any of you know my research, I'm really interested in unplanned conversation and how that can be a driver of knowledge exchange. So we intentionally built in some times during this day for a little bit of a longer lunch, for a 30-minute walk and talk after lunch. And from my perspective and those who I talked with, those kind of moments of downtime really allowed for the day to breathe. And I think were maybe some of the more valuable opportunities, for folks to talk with one another and kind of debrief on what we were learning in almost real time and thinking about how we could put various things into action, in our own, professional lives. So I just wanted to share kind of some of those personal reflections as well, because even as a working professional, I think it's good to be reflective about how we work with one another. And teamwork was a huge aspect of both the PA panel and some of the discussions that followed, as was my personal experience that day as part of OHPA's annual meeting. So that's a bit of a summary about PA school. Hopefully you found something helpful here. And as always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Take care.